Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 438 based on novel. So let's start. Using this opportunity he had created for himself by causing the man inside the seven-colored flame to fail his spell, Wang Lin didn't hesitate to take out the treasure the first-generation Vermillion bird had given him to kill the traitorous third Vermillion bird. After Wang Lin summoned the Vermillion bird, the fire in the sky began to churn violently. The sea of fire quickly surged and a giant vortex appeared in the middle, which was above Wang Lin's head. The fire vortex became like a black hole that was a door to a mysterious world. The moment the black hole appeared, a Vermillion bird cry suddenly echoed within. The Vermillion bird cry was heaven-shaking. The moment it appeared, Wang Lin felt a sense of shock. His fourth awakened Vermillion bird appeared and revealed respect. It was as if Wang Lin's Vermillion bird felt instinctive fear toward this cry. The seven-colored Vermillion bird behind the old man looked up and let out a cry. There was fear in its eyes, and it didn't dare to fly up. This scene was too sudden, and the middle-aged man's pupils shrank. The old fellow actually gave this to you to kill me. Following the heaven-shaking Vermillion bird cry, a terrifying pressure came out of the vortex and quickly scattered. The temperature here suddenly increased until it became like a fire realm. Under this pressure, a terrifying scene that Wang Lin could never forget occurred in the sea of fire in the sky. A giant Vermillion bird beak descended from the vortex. Just the beak covered most of the sky, and the pressure increased countless fold. Vermillion bird origin spirit. That feather was an important treasure to the first-generation Vermillion bird as he only had one. What the feather had summoned was a real Vermillion bird that lived in the first-generation Vermillion bird's homeland. This wasn't a Vermillion bird formed by the Vermillion bird clan cultivators, but a living one. The Vermillion bird beak suddenly descended from the vortex and caused the sea of fire to concave inwards with the beak at the bottom. As it descended, the fire surged. Its speed was unimaginable. As it descended, it mercilessly pecked at the middle-aged man. During this process, the entire sky seemed to have turned into the head of the Vermillion bird. Its eyes were filled with anger, and Wang Lin recognized it at a glance. It looked very similar to the first-generation Vermillion bird. The world continued to rumble. The Vermillion bird beak descended quickly and in an instant reached within 1,000 feet of the seven-colored flame. This was comparable to a finger from the ancient gods, but the momentum was much more powerful. Only an adult 8-star ancient god using the spell personally could match it. Inside the seven-colored flame, the middle-aged man let out a roar and he waved his hand. The seven-colored flame around him rushed into the sky and formed another Vermillion bird that rushed at the incoming beak. Thunderous rumbles echoed. The seven-colored Vermillion bird let out a miserable scream the moment it touched the beak, and it suddenly collapsed. The middle-aged man coughed out blood and his hand formed seals while his expression was ferocious. He roared, "Earth, water, fire, wind." His words shook the entire world. With the word, earth, a boundless earth appeared below him. With the word, water, a raging sea appeared above the earth. With the word, fire, the sea began to burn and was covered in a seven-colored flame. With the last word, wind, a gust of wind swept across the flame. For elements, the middle-aged man's expression was ferocious and his hands pushed forward. The mighty wind rushed toward the Vermillion bird beak, and behind it was the raging flame. After the flame was the surging sea. Finally, the earth went through the middle-aged man's body and charged at the sky as if it going to mend the vortex. When all of this appeared before Wang Lin, it shook his mind. Whether it was the Vermillion bird or the middle-aged man, they both had power that Daoist Water and Master Simo couldn't compare to. If these two power collided, the shockwave would be strong enough to destroy this holy land. Even Wang Lin wouldn't be able to survive. Unless he could use a similarly powerful spell to confront the incoming wave of destruction, that is. Or he could choose to use the backup plan he had come up with before, to leave the outer realm and return to the inner realm. However, right now was the best opportunity to seriously injure or kill the sovereign. If he missed this chance, he wouldn't have another opportunity. Wang Lin had spent his life seeking to gain advantages in dangerous situations, so how could he let this chance go? He wanted to do something heaven-shaking in the outer realm after destroying the Scatter Thunder clan. Kill the Sovereign. What a vicious first-generation Vermillion bird. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. The first-generation Vermillion bird had lived for far too long, and Wang Lin naturally was no match. Although he had guessed the first generation's plan, he was still a step behind. The second-generation ancestor suddenly passed me the strongest Vermillion bird clan spell because he saw through it all and was trying to help me. Wang Lin's hands began forming seals without hesitation. The first breath. The middle-aged man's wind collided with the beak. The world rumbled and the wind collapsed. The Vermillion bird beak trembled, and the rumbling of its flames echoed loudly. A shockwave scattered in all directions. Wang Lin finished the first group of seals. The world before him changed colors and a giant firebone appeared out of nowhere. Second breath. The seven-colored flame collided with the Vermillion bird beak and the world rumbled. The Vermillion bird beak trembled and the seven-colored flame collapsed. The second shockwave swept across the world. Wang Lin finished the second set of seals. Branches appeared on the giant firebone. The third and fourth breaths instantly passed. The sea raged at the Vermillion bird beak and collided with it, turning into endless water vapor. The tip of the beak broke, causing the Vermillion bird to let out a cry and spit out a mouthful of air from its belly. This air rushed at the heaven-mending earth. Thunderous rumbles echoed violently like never before in this holy land and became the voice of the world. The sovereign let out a roar as the Vermillion bird beak collapsed. The moment it collapsed, the third shockwave spread out in all directions. Countless rifts appeared in space and violent energy filled this world. The Fire Sparrow clan's holy land began collapsing under this shockwave. The air spat out by the Vermillion bird landed on the earth, causing countless cracks to appear on it. Seeing that the earth was about to disintegrate, the sovereign spat out a mouthful of blood. The blood turned into blood mist and pushed the earth into the sky. After the earth absorbed the blood, it no longer disintegrated and charged at the sky with an indescribable momentum. Thunderous rumbles echoed. The large earth filled with countless cracks shot directly into the sea of fire in the sky. It covered the entire sea of fire and sealed the giant vortex that the Vermillion bird origin spirit had arrived through. The world trembled and was torn apart as the shockwave spread, causing everything to disintegrate like crazy. The sovereign coughed out blood and his face became even more pale. He turned around and looked at Wang Lin with a ferocious expression before lifting his foot. Wang Lin was hit by this shockwave and blood came out of the corner of his mouth, but his hands moved faster and faster. He struggled to continue forming seals, and right now there were more than 1 million seals around him. The incoming sovereign saw this, and his expression changed greatly. Damn it, that old follow actually taught you this spell. He charged at Wang Lin without hesitation. However, the ancient forest spirit Wang Lin had released let out a roar and charged at the incoming sovereign. The sovereign had a ferocious expression as he waved his right hand and an endless power turned into a giant handprint. It was like a sun that descended toward the ancient forest spirit. Thunderous rumble filled the air as the ancient wood spirit trembled. The palm penetrated its body and then shot at Wang Lin. At this moment, the ninth breath arrived and Wang Lin's right hand finished the last seal. His hands were a bloody mess and were almost unable to move after finishing the last seal. Almost 2 million seals were around Wang Lin's body. After he finished, they formed a firestorm and fused with the bone umbrella frame to form a giant realm-burning ancient umbrella. Realm-burning ancient umbrella. Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot. He used the Vermillion bird clan's strongest spell the moment the palm print closed in. Although he had just learned it, he was the Vermillion bird, and he had practiced restrictions for a long time, so he had methods for creating seals quickly. However, his comprehension of it was low, so its power was obviously inferior. However, when it came to this kind of spell, even if the power was weaker, it was still heaven-shaking. He then spat out a mouthful of blood. Wang Lin clearly felt the vitality in his body being rapidly absorbed by the ancient umbrella to form a force that would open it. Umbrella, open to destroy the realm. Wang Lin roared as he waved his arms. The firestorm stopped in the air and fused with the firebone umbrella frame, forming a burning umbrella. When the mouthful of blood from Wang Lin landed on the umbrella, large amounts of vitality rushed into the huge umbrella and a roar echoed. The collapsing Fire Sparrow clan Holy Land was filled with an indescribable heat. Even the palm print paused when hit by this heat wave. The sovereign's expression changed greatly. Just at this moment, Wang Lin's roar rumbled across the world. In an instant, the ancient umbrella slowly opened, and as it opened, a fire that could destroy a realm spread out from the umbrella. This fire had no color and couldn't even be called a fire, it was an aura. An invisible fire aura. The umbrella gradually opened up. When it was 10% open, the palm print arrived. The fire rushed out and collided with the palm print. There was a thunderous rumble and the palm print immediately collapsed. The fire aura didn't stop, it slowly spread in all directions. Every place that was shrouded by it was destroyed and turned into ruin. This was the power that could destroy a realm. The destructive shockwave created by the collision of the Vermillion bird beak and the sovereign collided with the power of the fire aura. Endless rumbles echoed as the shockwave collapsed and the fire extinguished. Realm burning ancient umbrella. The sovereign's face was pale. He was seriously injured and then he miscalculated with fishing the moon in the well. After that, he had fought with the Vermillion bird origin spirit and sealed it before he saw Wang Lin use the terrifying realm-burning ancient umbrella. At this moment, he was even more injured than before. With a ferocious expression, the sovereign formed a seal and reached for the cloth around his shoulder. With a roar, he pulled it down. Intense pain washed over his body. He ripped off the armor that had already fused with his flesh. The armor gave off a grey glow and suddenly turned into a huge palm. How can the realm-burning ancient umbrella be so easy to open? This armor was given to me by my master, and it is more than enough to match an unopened umbrella. Universe-suppressing palm, the sovereign roared, and the giant palm formed by the armor shot toward Wang Lin. It was extremely fast and it almost covered the sky, almost matching the Vermillion bird beak size. As it swept across the sky, it was about to collide with the ancient umbrella. Thunderous rumbles echoed like crazy as the fire penetrated the palm. The palm was rapidly dissipating while it bombarded the umbrella. All of this happened in a flash. As the palm rapidly dissipated, it closed in on the umbrella. After shrinking to half its original side, it landed on the ancient umbrella. Realm-burning ancient umbrella, break for this sovereign. The ancient umbrella trembled and Wang Lin coughed out blood. The vitality in his body was a mess. After all, his cultivation level wasn't high enough to display its true power. Just opening it 20% to block a palm from the sovereign was his limit. After coughing out blood, Wang Lin was knocked back. Without vitality being injected into it, the ancient umbrella began to slowly dissipate. This wasn't caused by the palm. However, just as it was about to dissipate completely, Wang Lin revealed a ferocious expression as he was being knocked back. There was a hint of madness in his eyes as he roared, "Explode!" The ancient umbrella that was about to dissipate trembled, and as Wang Lin's word echoed, destructive aura spread out from within it. The entire Fire Sparrow clan Holy Land completely collapsed. The grey palm print created from the armor completely collapsed. Outside the door to the Fire Sparrow clan's Holy Land, the ancestor was sitting down and cultivating. He suddenly opened his eyes and looked at the door. However, at this moment, the door collapsed and countless fragments of the door rushed at him. It was too sudden, so the Fire Sparrow clan ancestor didn't have time to react at all before the fragments landed on him. He coughed out blood and quickly retreated with shock and terror in his eyes along with disbelief. Wang Lin's figure flashed out from the collapsed door and quickly escaped. Behind him, the collapse of the Holy Land turned into an endless destructive force that erupted outward. The sovereign's roar came from within as he rushed out of the destructive force after Wang Lin. Although he was seriously injured, he could still chase after Wang Lin. As he charged out, the sovereign raised his hand and mercilessly slammed forward. Another palm print appeared and rushed forward. It instantly caught up to Wang Lin and was about to destroy him. At the moment of danger, blood flowed out from the corner of Wang Lin's mouth as he quickly retreated. His hands formed seals and the wind and rain realm appeared around Wang Lin. The palm collided with the wind and rain realm. The wind and rain realm collapsed with a bang. Wang Lin coughed out blood and white light came from his body. Endless white light came from the cultivation planet and condensed around Wang Lin to form a large light silhouette. Master Blue Dream Spell, Light and Shadow Shield. The moment the light and shadow shield appeared, the palm print landed on it. The shield flickered violently, attempting to reflect the power, but it only lasted for a few breaths before collapsing. Endless fragments of the shield scattered, and Wang Lin's face turned extremely pale and he coughed out blood once more. Seeing that the palm print was about to land on his body, Wang Lin let out a roar. His ancient god stars rotated rapidly and the Emperor Furnace flew out from his first star. The Emperor Furnace appeared around Wang Lin, forming a shield, and collided with the palm print chasing him. There was a loud buzz as Wang Lin was knocked back and countless injuries appeared on his body. The Emperor Furnace didn't collapse, but it wasn't able to take form due to the force from the palm print, and it was knocked back into Wang Lin's first ancient god star. This sovereign wants to see how you will resist, how you will escape. Sovereign chased after Wang Lin with killing intent in his eyes. The palm print was only 7 feet from Wang Lin, and its pressure shook his mind. It was as if his origin soul was going to be forced out of his body. At the most critical moment, Wang Lin raised his right hand and placed it before him. A surge of ancient god power appeared and formed a gauntlet. The ancient god treasure refined from the bone of an ancient god. The moment the ancient god gauntlet appeared, the palm print landed on it, causing a thunderous rumble. Wang Lin coughed out blood 7 times. The cultivation planet couldn't withstand the force and directly collapsed. The entire cultivation planet was torn apart. Large amounts of cracks appeared on the surface. It was like a ball of water that was blown apart, instantly disintegrating. Wang Lin was thrown back and collided with the center of the planet. He went through the center of the collapsed planet and came out the other side. He retreated like crazy. His body was on the verge of collapse and his origin soul was weakened. Fortunately, his body was that of an ancient god, otherwise, just the impact would have been enough to kill him. Although this was the case, he had directly blocked a blow from the sovereign. Still not dead. The sovereign sped across space and his right hand pushed out once more. Another palm print shot toward Wang Lin at an even faster speed and stronger force. Wang Lin's expression was ferocious as he raised his left hand and pointed at this right arm. He roared, 8-star ancient god life-saving spell, ancient blessing. The ancient god power inside Wang Lin rushed into this gauntlet at a rapid pace. As his words echoed, a mighty ancient god aura appeared among the stars. From afar, an ancient god the size of a cultivation planet suddenly appeared before Wang Lin. This ancient god was illusory and gave off an ancient aura. His body was covered in injuries, making it obvious that it had been through a lot of battles. His face was facing the palm print and his arms were wrapped around Wang Lin. He was protecting Wang Lin with his body as if he was protecting a child. Waves of warmth entered Wang Lin's body. It was like being in the arms of one's parent. Even if the world was falling apart, the parent would protect you. The moment the ancient god appeared, the sovereign's palm print arrived and landed on the ancient god's back. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the stars. The ancient god remained motionless and the palm print collapsed. It was as if this blow was like a mere mosquito colliding with it. Even the sovereign's eyes narrowed when he saw this. He was just about to use a spell when the ancient god moved. Ancient Blessing was a life-saving spell given to a child ancient god, and it wasn't just for defense. The huge ancient god suddenly turned, and the sovereign's pupils shrank. As it turned around, a punch was launched at the sovereign. The ancient god's forehead clearly revealed 8 rotating stars. The sovereign didn't have time to dodge at all before the ancient god's fist landed on him like a meteor. The sovereign's face turned pale and he coughed out blood. He was seriously injured. His body was knocked back and he let out a muffled groan. This punch caused the injuries he had just suffered from the Vermillion bird beak, the realm-burning ancient umbrella, and the injuries from tens of thousands of years ago to erupt. With one punch, the ancient god dissipated, turned back into the gauntlet, and disappeared into Wang Lin's right arm. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. He should have chosen to escape without any hesitation at this moment, but he waved his right hand. The blood sword shot out toward the sovereign. The sovereign took out some unknown treasure and blocked the blood sword, knocking it back. Wang Lin let out a sigh. His injuries were too heavy and he was merely holding on with one breath. If he let this breath go, he would immediately collapse. At this moment, he grabbed the blood sword and escaped without hesitation. However, just as Wang Lin was about to escape with spatial bending, the sovereign's weak voice echoed across the world. However, when this voice entered Wang Lin's ears, it caused him to suddenly stop. Wang Lin. Wang Lin, you're bold, cruel, decisive, and cunning. Do you wish to become my soldier? If you agree, I can resurrect your wife. Not just awaken her soul, but completely resurrect her. Wang Lin's mind burst as if a bolt of thunder had struck him. There was madness in his eyes as he stared at the middle-aged man holding his chest. If one day if I changed places with Simon Mo and his sister was Wan, how would I choose? Perhaps. That day will come. This day arrived. This old man isn't lying to you. As early as 1,200 years ago, I heard of your name and learned that the only reason you cultivate is to bring your wife back. The sovereign's voice was weak as it slowly floated among the stars, but they were like heavy hammers slamming on Wang Lin's mind. However, this impact turned into waves that surged in Wang Lin's brain, causing him to tune out the sovereign's voice. Only the last four words were like a bolt of lightning that tore open his flesh and rushed into his soul. Bring your wife back. This old man also knows that in order to bring your wife back, you have asked many cultivators for help, but in the end none of them could help you. You probably don't believe my words. You presume that since I'm seriously injured, how can I achieve this? This matter is indeed extremely difficult. Even if I wasn't injured, I wouldn't have the ability to bring your wife back. However, my teacher is someone on par with the ancient celestial sovereign. He is even famous in the ancient world. This old man will seek master for you and seek the life realm. He can harvest countless souls to form a longevity seal. Not only can your wife be resurrected, but even your only son can be resurrected as well. Wang Lin was completely frozen and his mind rumbled. He was speechless for a while. He was already seriously injured and was holding on with just one breath. Now that he couldn't hold that breath anymore, his body trembled and he coughed out blood. As long as you agree to become this old man's soldier, this old man can do it all for you. The voice was weak, but there was something magical about it, and it landed on Wang Lin's body. There was struggle in Wang Lin's eyes. His struggle had never been this intense. Neither Tao Master Blue Dream's proposal nor the first-generation Vermillion bird's words could compare. None of them had directly struck at Wang Lin's most vulnerable spot in his heart. When it landed on his Tao heart, the impact was comparable to fishing the moon in the well, and it fished out Wang Lin's soul. In order to resurrect Li Muwen, Wang Lin was willing to do anything. Risk everything. When he had no hope, he longed for hope. Right now there was hope, and even if it was just a glimmer, it weighed heavily in his heart. He struggled like crazy. Become this old man's soldier, you will be an existence beyond Master Simo, Qing Shui, and Qing Lin. You will be the most powerful death soldier I have. If you agree, this old man will give you the Tao name Master Ling Shong. Haven't you spent your life trying to resurrect your wife and child? My teacher can do it. If you don't believe me, I can let teacher resurrect your wife first, and once you two reunite, it won't be too late to agree. Wang Lin's face was ashen, and the struggle in his mind had reached a limit. There was a voice frantically screaming in his mind, shaking his body. Take his offer, become the sovereign soldier so Wan can be resurrected. Wang Lin, haven't you been cultivating all your life just for her? Take his offer. 1,500 years of being apart can finally come to an end and Wang Ping can also be brought back. Isn't reuniting your family your biggest dream? Take his offer. You're not going to become the sovereign slave, you'll just have to listen to all his orders. Compare your personal freedom to Wan's life, which is more important. Take his offer, become the second Master Simo and become a slave to the sovereign. Betray the inner realm. Break off from Sichu Nan, Qing Shui, and everyone you knew in the inner realm. From now on, they're your enemies. This voice became louder and louder until it became a heaven-shaking roar in Wang Lin's mind. His face turned pale and he subconsciously took a few steps back. Right now his eyes were bloodshot, he was trembling, and his mind was on the verge of collapse. The struggle to make a choice had turned into a flood that was drowning him. If one day the sovereign asks me to kill Sichu, what would I do? If one day the sovereign asked me to kill Qing Shui, what would I do? If one day the sovereign asked me to slaughter my way back into the inner realm, how could I face all those familiar faces? Ju Yi, Ju are you, big head everyone. If one day the sovereign orders me to harm the second generation Vermillion bird, will I be able to do it? There was a miserable smile on Wang Lin's face, and a shocking trace of blood flowed down from the corner of his mouth. His heart was being ripped in half due to this decision, and the pain was something words couldn't describe at all. Wana was his everything and his one weakness. He wouldn't allow anyone to hurt her. In order to resurrect Wana, Wang Lin could give up many things. In order to resurrect Wana, he could give up his vitality. Right now he was willing to give up his life. However, there were some things that were even more important than his life. It was just that in life, there were emotions beside love that he couldn't cut off. From now on, I'll hand the soul refining sect to you. On planet Suzaku, the soul refining sect's master, Dun Tian, had placed the soul refining sect's treasure in his hands after passing away. After placing the inheritance of the soul refining sect on his shoulders, Dun Tian closed his eyes, smiling. Sichu Nan had given up the chance to take away the heaven-defying bead and had accompanied Wang Lin for hundreds of years. He had taught Wang Lin cultivation from Wang Lin's youth. A teacher, a father, a brother, and also a friend. If there was no Sichu, there would be no Wang Lin. Wang Lin once said something about Sichu that represented all the gratitude he felt towards Sichu. I, Wang Lin, would never kneel to the heavens, only in respect for Sichu. Ju Yi was love-struck for his entire life, nothing could cover his 1,000-year obsession. He had given Wang Lin a fortune that had allowed Wang Lin to avoid death. Ju Yi was obsessed with Qing Shuang. If Wang Lin chose to follow the sovereign, there would surely be a tragic battle between them. I, Ju Yi, only want to do one thing in my life, to accompany Qing Shuang until the end of time. Brother Qing Shui had a cold face but a warm heart. Once he decided that Wang Lin was a cross-generation disciple of Bai Fang, he was willing to do anything to make sure no one harmed Wang Lin. Since he is my junior brother, no one can harm him. If you hurt one of his fingers, I will seek your life. Qing Shui's madness, which had caused him to kill his wife, brought all his grief and indignation, was due to the schemes of the outer realm. If he found out that the junior brother he once protected had become the slave of the cause of his sorrow, how would he feel? There was also the fifth-generation Vermillion bird. He was clearly at the end of his lifespan, but he was still willing to help Wang Lin recover. He had even handed the Vermillion bird divine sect to Wang Lin. His kind gaze would forever linger in Wang Lin's heart. This old man, Lu Yun, has lived his entire life for the Vermillion bird divine sect. Even though I will soon die, I can now die with a smile. You're excellent, take care of the Vermillion bird divine sect for me. The old Vermillion bird divine emperor's dying wish was for Wang Lin to take care of the sect. Facing the kindness Wang Lin had received, he couldn't face the dead divine emperor's anger and disappointed gaze. The second-generation Vermillion bird had only known Wang Lin for a few days. His hearty laughter, gratified expression, look of admiration, and kindness toward Wang Lin came to mind. He had fished up the dragon to gift its blood to Wang Lin and had tried to save him many times during moments of danger in the trials. He had even roared at the first-generation Vermillion bird in the heaven trial. The second-generation Vermillion bird had gifted him the method to control the dragon and the ancient soul restriction. Also, before Wang Lin left, The second-generation Vermillion bird had clearly disobeyed the first-generation Vermillion bird's order and had to bear an unknown price to teach Wang Lin the Vermillion bird clan's strongest spell, the realm-burning ancient umbrella. Little fellow, don't forget that the next time we meet, you have to choose the seventh generation for this old man. Be sure to select a child with determination. You look rather cold, but even you were naughty at some point. Unfortunate, unfortunate. Ah, what's so good about duo cultivation? This old man really doesn't understand. There were still a lot of people, a lot of people. How could Wang Lin cut them all off with one choice? Master Simo's memory filled Wang Lin's mind. When he saw Master Simo's life, he felt like he was watching his own memories. The Master Simo today was Wang Lin's future. In order to resurrect his sister, Master Simo had given up the heaven-breaking sect and all his sect brothers. He had even given up his own soul to become the sovereign's dog and had killed for the sovereign. With 1 point from the sovereign, even if it was Master Simo's own teacher, he would raise the butcher's knife as he shed tears. If he hadn't seen Master Simo's memory, Wang Lin's choice would have been even more difficult. If he hadn't experienced Tao Master Blue Dream's proposal or the first-generation Vermillion bird's words, Wang Lin still might not have been able to make the biggest decision in his life. A painful decision, but one he had to choose. After seeing Master Simo's memory, Wang Lin asked himself how he would choose if that day came. However, he didn't expect that day to arrive so quickly. This day was like a calamity. Fortunately, Master Simo's memory had given Wang Lin a path. I don't want to become Master Simo, Wang Lin murmured in a low voice. The struggle in his eyes was replaced by pain, but this pain was filled with determination. I don't want to become your slave. I don't want to betray their gratitude because of my choice. Love is the pain I can't give up. It's what I spent my life cultivating for. But love isn't the only thing in my life. I admire someone like Master Simo, who can abandon everything and his own conscience just for one person. However, I'm afraid to choose. I'm afraid to face everyone that was kind to me. Even if my wife and child were to awaken, we would become puppets. I won't choose this. Perhaps your teacher can really awaken my wife and child, but if he can do it, then I, Wang Lin, can as well. My wife and child, I'll resurrect them myself. Wang Lin raised his head and stared at the startled sovereign. He turned and disappeared among the endless stars as he went far away. No one saw the 2 lines of crystal tears falling from Wang Lin's eyes, and they were scattered among this vast star system. Wana? Pinger? Would you two blame me? This video will end here.